This will be a prop later. "150 years ago, American philosopher and psychologist William James said, "The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another." Wow, if only fighting stress was that easy. All jokes aside, even the most ordinary events of life can start to add up and weigh us down. Now, I know that everyone in this room faces stress every day. After a while, though, that can start to add up, and you begin to feel burnt out. Wait, what exactly is burnt out? There's a thoughtful anecdote I read in English class that explains it really well. So there's this professor who's giving a lecture on stress management to his students. He raises a glass of water and asks the students, "How heavy do you think this glass is?" The students' answers range from 4 ounces to 12 ounces. The professor then laughed and told the students the absolute weight didn't matter. The weight depends on how long you hold it. Let's say I hold it for a minute. I'll be okay. If I hold it for an hour, I'll ache in my right arm. If I hold it for a day, they'll have to call an ambulance. It's the exact same weight, but the longer I hold it, the heavier it becomes. We carry our burdens all the time. Sooner or later, we will not be able to carry on. A burden becoming increasingly heavier. What you have to do is put the glass down and rest for a while before picking it back up again. We have to put down the burden periodically so that we can be refreshed and are able to carry on. That feeling, when you're trying to keep holding on to that glass, that's burnt out. When I try to find what's causing that burnout feeling for me, I always come back to school. I was talking to one of my friends in English class just last week about next year's schedules. He said, "I'm taking 7 AP classes next year as a junior." I was struck speechless. How could a person spend every hour of the school day taking the hardest class possible only to apply to a university in 2 years that didn't even accept them? Even if that university did take those classes, that's 2 years or so of time gone missing from his college life. That's years of childhood gone to speed up the process of becoming an adult. It's the pressure of high school and college squeezed into a shorter time period than I thought anyone could manage. He seemed unfazed by it all, despite the fact he was already swamped from just a couple AP classes this year. His solution to burnout? Keep the fire going. It's easy to say, well, let's just not do difficult things. Then we'd all avoid burnout. It's not that easy. So I turn to the people who I know who do the least possible work, the stoners. On the surface, they seem like they figured out how to beat stress, smoke weed, and do the bare minimum. However, each one I know personally hates their parents, and their parents don't trust them back. They have fewer good friends, and in general, end up with even more problems than me. In the end, they have the same burnout issues as these AP kids, with less resume fodder to stipend it. I'm a smart kid. I score in like the 99th percentile on my PSATs. I get A's and a couple B's here and there in school. I even volunteer at the Y, 15 hours every month. I'm still getting a lot of pressures, though, from homework, issues with my friends, and trying to become an adult in a strange, strange world. It's just as easy for stress to accumulate for me as anyone else. How do I fight it? I surprise myself. One morning, while waiting for class to start, I decided I'm going to climb to the top of a building just to watch the sunrise. One day, I was driving home from school and say, all right, I'm going to take this road I've never been on before and navigate my way out of it. When 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, I'll decide to head to a local park or take an urban hike. Ultimately, it doesn't matter as much as what I am doing as what I'm not doing. Breaking the routine. You see, I believe it isn't what you do that's stressful, it's that you're doing it over and over. It's that glass of water I held up earlier. It alone wasn't heavy, but the longer I held it, the harder it weighed on me. When you spend a moment, or an hour, or a day to break that cycle of stress that is unavoidable no matter what life path you choose, that's my strategy to avoid burnout.